Throat is scratchy here. It makes me sound like an old timer. I got news for you. I'm getting there pretty quick.
This is Pop Wagner. He's a folk musician and purveyor of the culture that holds up this tradition. The guy is a living luminary. Tradition is a big idea, but in Pop's small corner of the world, he embodies, in the most poetic sense of the word, cowboy culture and ideology. I had him over recently to give a workshop in saddle cinch making, but maybe more importantly to us, how to convert those into guitar straps. We later sat down in front of a live audience to talk about his life and work, not only as a trailblazer in the Midwest folk scene, but also quite literally in the saddle. So this is Pop Wagner. So let's start with why. Why'd you get into this?
I guess it's the culture, the cowboy culture. A friend of mine named Andy Wilkins, who's a songwriter in Texas, one of his lines in his song is, he wrote poetry with his rope. There are some people that can do so much with a rope that it's just incredible. And Will Rogers has a video of some of his rope tricks, some of which have never been duplicated. Like he'll catch 3 horses at the same time, throwing three loops as they canter by.
I have this idea in my head that you got into cowboy music and then you got into cowboy stuff.
I met Glenn Orland, who was a great old-time cowboy.
So why do you think cowboys have music?
Well, I suppose isolation.
He was also a collector of old cowboy songs. I met him at a folk festival out east when he was on the folk circuit. Over time, I started adding more cowboy stuff to my repertoire. Must have been something like my midlife crisis. About when I was about to turn 40, I bought a horse. So I'm doing cowboy material, and I've got a horse, and then I got another horse, and then I was at the Cody, Wyoming for the Cowboy Songs and Range Ballads gathering, and I met this fella. He was offering a clinic like we did today in how to make mohair cinches. So I took that, and I just never stopped. And then find where they meet, and we're going to mark the middle with the blue yarn. So this is 49 feet of mohair that's going to be used to make a 34-inch cinch. As it comes from the fiber mill, there's often what's known as over twist, which means once the cinch is finished and it hangs from a nail, there might be a slight twist to it. So to get rid of the over twist, we run it back and forth several times. See, I've got a good grip here, and I'm just pulling it through. And this will get rid of all or most of any over twist.
Does this work with guitar cables?
Yep. You got to do the same thing with both. I know enough about being a real cowboy to know I wouldn't be very good at it. Yeah. And it's amazing set of skills that, especially in the old days, that people had. Do you remember? We'd come jogging to town with jingle in our jeans, and in the wild night we'd be bogging up to our hats in last month's dreams. Seemed the night could barely hold us with all those spirits to embold us. While horses waiting on 3 legs, we'd drain the night down to the dregs. And just before beyond redemption, we'd gather back to what we were. Spend our payday money there, then head our horses to the wagon. But in the ruckus and in the whirl, we were the wolves of all the world.
For the full concert and interview, go on over to the Patreon. Folks who support at the luminary level gain not only hours and hours of behind-the-scenes footage and concerts and interviews, but it also ensures that I can keep doing these projects. And if you're new to the Living Luminaries series, go on and click this link and check out the playlist of all the interviews and profiles I have available there. In the meantime, I just appreciate you being here, and we'll see you at what's next.